Everyone, over here we have Judge Anderson, a brave Psi Division judge who sacrificed herself to secure Judge Death, a monstrous creature from an alternative dimension where life itself is a crime. Wow, she looks dead. Is she dead? We cannot ever know. The risk of freeing her from the boring plastic is far too high. She must remain here forever. So let's move on now, guys. We've got to continue the tour. Time is of the essence. As the tour guide leads the group of people off into the following chambers, one member of the public has snuck away, undetected, and now the tour halls are closed for the night. Undisturbed, we see what our hideaway perp is up to. Approaching Judge Anderson's body, he pulls out a laser cutter and begins slicing through her plastic prison. Drock! The heat sensors are going off in the Anderson annex. It might be a fire. Making his way to Anderson, Caretaker Brand spots the man. Intruder! He has a laser cutter. Stop! You've got no idea what you're doing! Just as the words leave his mouth, our intruder turns, laser cutter in hand and slicing through Brand's torso. Turning back now and continuing to cut through the plastic, he spots smoke. A small amount at first, but then increasing, moving, forming into the shape of a ghostly face. I'm free at last. Judge Death, the monster that dwelled within Anderson, is free. You will take me to those that sent you, Death says as he enters into the man's mind. On his way out, he's spotted by a judge, turning his laser cutter on and mercilessly dispatching him as he continues into the night. The event hasn't gone unnoticed, and judges have made their way into the Anderson annex, discovering the bodies of the judges and the now damaged plastic prison Anderson resided in. Get Dread now! Arriving on the scene, he assesses the situation. Get the boing cutters now. Death is long gone. We need Anderson. How could this have happened? There is no sign of forced entry or break-in. The perpetrator must have been on a tour group. Sturmy, explain now. I guess I must have miscounted. There were hundreds, thousands of people today. I'm so sorry. This isn't good enough, Sturmy. Place yourself under detention. You go check the records now. I want this person found. And you inform the chief judge that we have a level 1 emergency on our hands. Meanwhile, our mystery perp approaches his apartment in the Billy Carter block. Entering his home, he rushes forward. Janine, no! You said you wouldn't kill her if I helped you. You promised. We lied. She was judged and the sentence was death. And there, towering above him, 3 sinister figures stand, twisted depictions of judges and unmistakably reminiscent of Judge Death. Before the man could mourn, Judge Death appears. Time has been wasted. Prepare him for me. The 3 judges hold the man down, wailing and crying. What are you going to do to me? You must die so Judge Death can live. Judge Mortis reaches out, his hands gripping the man, bringing about decay and death, leaving behind a shell, a corpse, a vessel. As the dead fluids run over the body and finish their work, Judge Fire's voice rings out. Enter this soulless carcass, Death, so we can begin judgment. Meanwhile, outside the Grand Hall of Justice, word has gotten out that Judge Death is once again on the loose, and the press of Megacity 1 are in a frantic frenzy, attempting to get an exclusive from Judge Dredd himself. So, Judge Dredd, you're manning this mission. What dangers are we in now that Death is loose? In his dimension, all life is a crime. Their sentence is death. No citizen is safe as long as Judge Death is around. How can he do any harm though? You said he was a ghost now. We know he can create new bodies. Now that's enough questions. And with that, Judge Dredd and his team roll out on their Lawmasters, off into the city for one twisted judge. Little do they know, there are now 4 in Megacity 1. As they speed down the Megway, Control comes through. Dredd, we have a lead. One of the tourists today was registered as having strong psychic potential. He's a likely vessel for Death. Residents over at Billy Carter Block. On my way. Back at Billy Carter Block, the eyes of the corpse begin to move. Flickering and now open, the dead eyes of Judge Death. Judge Death lives. His garb of office, bring them. Death dons his uniform, and there they stand. The 4 dark judges assembled. Judge Fear, Death, Fire, and Mortis. The judges who condemn their world to total annihilation here in Megacity 1. To sentence the living of Dredd's dimension. When you did not return, we sensed you had encountered some difficulties. Here, we have brought the shield to aid us. Judge Fear explains as he hands Death the shield. The judges of this dimension are not lawful. They permit life to continue, denying the true law of death. And with that, the shield that was handed to Death begins to work, covering the mega block, an impenetrable wall. For those that touch it, a wall of death. Sealed off, and sure they won't be disturbed, the 4 dark judges begin their rampage of sentencing. You are all guilty. The sentence is death. It's mayhem. As the citizens begin running, we see Mortis dispensing the touch of death, and the flames of judgment begin pouring from Judge Fire's trident, and Judge Fear, forcing those unlucky enough to not be sentenced by the others to gaze into the face of fear, causing instant death. Outside, Judge Dredd and the squad he brought with him are deliberating on how to get past the shield. When the residents begin rushing out, their attempts to warn them are futile. The shield even blocks out their voices, and it's too late. Numerous citizens hit the wall and begin burning to death. There must be 50 dead on the shield, and they just keep coming. Dredd, what are we going to do? 50. There's 70,000 in that block. We have to get in there before it's too late. As they begin cordoning off the area, Judge Anderson rolls up. Anderson, why aren't you resting? I'll be fine. There's something you need to know, Dredd. You're not going to like it. Judge Death isn't alone in there. There's 3 others with him. The Dark Judges have been wasting no time, burning citizens to justice and dispensing the law of death at a rapid rate. The bodies continue to pile up, and they don't seem to be slowing down judgment. Outside, Anderson claims to be able to get Hurt and Dredd inside through the shield. You don't have something like Judge Death inside you for that long without picking up a few tricks, Dredd. Using every ounce of her will, Anderson begins pushing through, deflecting the psi waves generated by the shield. Struggling to maintain it, Anderson finally manages to get them through safely. Not without Judge Death sensing their presence. Anderson! The other judges sense it too. She has penetrated the shield, and another judge. Fear and Fire begin walking off. I go to the shield, and I to the intruders. Death's voice rings out. I stay to continue judgment. As Dredd and Anderson begin approaching the block, Fire steps out, sending out a burning torrent from his trident. Fools, how dare you resist us? You call yourself judges when you cannot even sentence your own people. Now I will judge you. After sending a hail of bullets at Judge Fire, Dredd changes tactics. High X. He blasts the ceiling above Fire away, and chunks of concrete begin falling, crushing the Dark Judge and pinning him to the floor. He's down, you did it. Yes, but he's not out yet. Let's move, Anderson. Gotta get to the shield. Judge Death, a strong telepath, senses the danger coming. The shield. But Fear is waiting for them. As they open the door to the apartment where the shield is being kept, he launches a man trap at the 2 judges. It lands and ensnares Anderson, trapping her leg. He lunges forth and grabs Dredd. Gaze into the face of Fear. As Fear opens his faceplate, Dredd, face to face with Fear, experiences a cold chill through his spine. This would kill any ordinary man, but Dredd is a man of the law, and judges are not ordinary men. Gaze into the fist of Dredd, he shouts as he sends his fist through the face of Fear and out the back of his helmet, smashing it. Anderson, trapped, but not out yet, sends an incendiary round into Judge Fear, lighting him up. Fools, you cannot kill us, we do not live, Fear shouts as he escapes in his ethereal form. Dredd blasts the generator, the shield drops, and the Justice Department can finally get to work. The assault squad begin shooting their way in, guns out and ready to hit the Dark Judges with everything they have. Their weapons. They are too powerful. We must flee and regroup. Death commands his judges. Let us go. We see Death and Mortis begin to fade out, along with Fear, who managed to make his way to Death just in time. Judge Fire has managed to get free from the concrete, and he stands there, flickering, disappearing back to his dark domain. Anderson senses their departure and tells Dredd, but for how long, Anderson? They will be back, unless we go to their dimension and destroy them. They make their way over to the body of Judge Fear. Finding a device and safely assuming it's the means to traverse dimensions, they too disappear. Where they end up is a hellish world filled with death and decay. The piles of bones are as far as the eyes can see. They are now in Dead World. Drock, what is this nightmare? Anderson, try and find Death. As Anderson reaches out to search for the Dark Judges, she begins wincing in pain. The thousands, the millions of dead begin calling out to her in agony and anger. We didn't deserve to die. You have the power, Anderson. You can help us. We need revenge. As Anderson composes herself, 3 figures step out from a doorway. They must die. You got any ideas, Dredd? None. We have to play this by ear. Ready? Ready. And with that, they begin sending out a hail of bullets at the Dead World judges, but to no avail. Judge Fire steps forward. "Fools, your bullets do nothing to us," as he throws his trident, landing and piercing Dredd in the shoulder. Incapacitated and in pain, the judges step forward. "It's just you now, Anderson." They destroy her gun and begin attacking her mind. "Here in our world, Anderson, we can crush your mind, squeeze your soul until it bleeds." In agony and pain, Anderson grabs the floor to hold on to something. The piles of bones in her hands, and then something goes through her. An incredible power. The millions of souls have found their outlets and they are pushing through Anderson to seek revenge. "Let the judges be judged. You are guilty. Your sentence is death." The dark judges begin to crumble. The millions of lives they extinguished finally at peace. "It's over, Dredd. I don't think there will be a problem again." "No, but I still have this little problem, Anderson. Can you help me with this trident?" As they walk back to the orb that brought them here, Anderson sighs. "I think I'm going to put in for that sick leave now. I think I might just join you, Anderson." So I won't spoil too much, but that isn't the end of the 4 Dark Judges. These stories merely served as an introduction to these awesome villains. I would highly recommend picking up some compilations featuring these guys, as they are superb read. Or even just the case files of Judge Dredd. For more complete stories in the 2000 AD universe, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And if you did enjoy this video, then please consider leaving it a like, as it does help the channel out. I've been Mr. H, and until next time, I'll catch you in the comments section.